If you're using GitLab, you need to listen up because there's a big vulnerability that allows code to be injected into your repositories.
On this, CVE of the week.
It's Friday, August 21st, and this is IT SPARC Cast CV of the week, where we pick a common vulnerability exposure entry that you need to know about and how to mitigate ASAP. And today we're talking about GitLab.
Okay, if you're watching this and you're not familiar with GitLab, GitLab is similar to GitHub, but much more tightly integrated and pointed at enterprise users. So it has more workflow capability for requirements and code check-in and things like that than GitHub does, which is traditionally combined with other tools for multiple other types of projects.
It's also not owned by Microsoft, which is a big selling point for some people.
And this seems like a really good time to talk about this. Unfortunately, the reason we have to talk about this is not so good because GitHub has been having some outages lately. So a lot more folks are going to be looking at things like GitLab or front ends for Git of their own. So let's get into what this thing actually is. So the news is it's CVE 2026-19478. It is a 9.4 on the crapometer, the CVSS, and it was patched. But multiple branches were impacted. The reason we chose this one is because the type of impact it's not a remote code execution, and you would think those would be the scariest ones. In this case, I'm not sure I agree. So there's patches for 18.11.11, 19.08, 19.16, and 19.24 out there. If you've got this stuff and you haven't patched it yet, do not screw around. Get this patch in, and this is why. It is classified as a code injection. So exploit can occur remotely. No authentication is required. There is no need to compromise a user to do this. GitLab says the attacker can use GraphQL directive to modify or delete public products or user data. Let's talk about the scary part here.
So what this really is a concern for enterprises because this is a software chain integrity issue. This means that an attacker can come in unauthorized. They can insert new source code or modify your source code to do all kinds of different things. Well, as that happens, your checksums and other things would change as well because they're acting as if they are authorized. So it makes it really tough to find. And even if you do patch, if there was an exploit that took place before you patched, it gets really difficult to check. So that's why we really want to talk about this. What you really need to do is get into the logs and the audit trail after you've patched and go back to see if there's any check-ins that you don't recognize. And at an enterprise level, you could be having hundreds, if not thousands of check-ins a day. So that means you've got to go through with due diligence and actually have everybody that has access to it go through and audit themselves as well. So you're taking this from multiple directions. This is one of those situations where, while it's technically a 9.4, the potential impact could be catastrophic. So I would really take a look at this and get your checking and your audits done right away before the weekend and make sure that nothing gets built until you're sure about it.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't want your brand name associated with malware, right?
Right.
So you want to start with GitLab's logs and audit trail because this thing basically is the perfect method to introduce a chain attack into your customers or your production databases, right? So you can investigate specific GraphXL API requests, unusual unauthenticated activity, look for abnormal repository user permission token, webhook, and integration changes. But Git provides another valuable forensic tail for this. Review unexpected commits, force pushes, branch log changes, and deleted branches, right? This is going to be a behavioral analysis. And if you are not running some sort of SIM to do this analysis, you really need to think about it. So comparing the checksums of the repositories against known good backups or the entire thing or trusted clones. Don't overlook CI/CD. Inspect the GitLab CL YAML and include pipeline templates. Look at variables, runners, webhooks, everything. Then follow the software downstream, right? If there's discovered changes, now you've got to figure out where those builds went. And that sucks. I can tell you straight up.
So if you do discover it, then again, Go look, see, was it built? Was it tested? And what did that code do? Because the code may not be targeting your customers. It may be targeting you, and maybe targeting your QA environment. So you really got to do a code review, especially if it was built. If it got to the point where you never built anything, then you could probably just delete all the changes and roll back and be fine. But if it did get built, you need to understand what that impact is. Again, it could be internal or it could be focused on your customers. Did it get rolled out to alpha testers? All of those, that supply chain of your source code, you really need to be sure that you have control over that. Because again, you don't want to be the one known for distributing malicious software, and you need to communicate proactively if anybody has that access to this. It could be breaching your internal systems. As we said, you need to be due diligence on scanning for viruses and malware that might have been introduced there as well. So this could be really bad if you're not careful.
But the challenge is a lot of the security scanning, we don't know if it's going to help. There's two challenges. Right. One, depending on what type of exploit somebody tried to put into your source code, we don't know if scanners are going to catch it. The second thing is we do not have all the technical details yet. Yeah. GitLab released these patches and released the advisory, but they did not release all the technical details about the vulnerability. Now, supposedly this is to help protect you from AI immediately nuking you, but they already said, hey, it's in this particular sub-process. You think AI isn't going to pick that apart quickly? I don't know. This policy bothers me a bit right now. It's assuming that nobody else can find it. John and I don't believe that. So patch immediately, but do not stop at patching. You need to check your code source integrity.
Okay. And that will cover this episode. We could do this podcast without listeners like you. We would love to hear what you think. Do you have another side to this story? Maybe we didn't give it enough weight, or we overblew the impact of this issue with GitLab. We want to hear from you. You can send email to feedback@itsparkcast.com. You can hit us up on X @ITSparkcast. If you're listening on YouTube, you can leave a comment down below. We do read every comment. We respond to most. And if it's particularly interesting or insightful, we will put it on the broadcast. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That way you'll never miss a single episode. And we'll be back next time from the world of enterprise IT and security. Take care.
Stay safe out there and check out your source code, okay?